But if I pull up in front of your house, by all means, and I whip open the car door and you're like, hey, Brian, I'm like, hey, man, hop in. You're going to be like, where we're going, right? That's going to be the first question you're going to ask. Well, where are we going? Why would you get into a car with somebody if you don't know where the destination is, where you're going? That's how your employees feel. Hey everybody, welcome back to part 3 of our inspirational, motivational 4-part series here on our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Gallagher with Mega Academy, and my main purpose, mission, and goal in life is to help as many private practice owners live the life of a private practice owner that they deserve for themselves and help advance the professional physical therapy with everything I got. I think we work the absolute best profession in the world, and I love the American Physical Therapy Association, especially PPS, for what they do and for what they're trying to do each and every day to advance our cause and successfully stabilize our profession as a foundation in the healthcare model. So enough of that, let's get right into it. This week we are on part 3, and what I'm talking about is leading with purpose. I believe leadership and demonstrating leadership is easier than you think. Being well-liked and well-known and respected really requires honesty, transparency, vision, and communication. Honesty, transparency, vision, communication. If you demonstrate those 4 characteristics, unified, laser pointed to your purpose, you will be successful hands down. You will be one of the world's best leaders. People will follow you in a battle anywhere. So, honesty, transparency, vision, and good communication, right? So, let's go with that. Honesty. Only say what you mean and mean what you say at all times. Don't ask somebody to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. Be honest with yourself when you're disappointed and be willing to confront that in others and share with them your disappointment in the outcomes, in the situation, not in the person or the being. Don't do personal attacks. Practice that. Master that trait. That's going to contribute to your leadership. Number 2, vision. I think everyone deserves to know where you're going and how you plan to get there. That is your vision, okay? Actually, number 2 is transparency. Transparency breeds trust. That kind of goes with being honest, right? So if you're transparent with what your actions are and what your policies are and your standard operating procedures are, people aren't going to distrust you because you're very open about it. When you share your metrics and you share your statistics and you share, in part, where's the money going? Why do I have to generate 4 times my income, Brian? Well, you have to generate 4 times your income because if I'm going to pay you $80,000, the first $80,000 you bring into the business goes back to paying your salary. The second $80,000 you bring goes out to taxes, not just taxes for you, but taxes on the business. The third $80,000 that you generate goes to running this place, paying the lease and operating expenses and costs. And the fourth $80,000 goes into reserves and in part contributes to the owner wearing the owner hat. I'm treating 20, 25 hours a week here and I take a salary as a treating therapist, but my distributions as an owner come from a little bit of what everybody is contributing here as a participant in our group. That would stand to reason. There has to be some room for profits and some room for money to be reinvested through reserves. So that's why it's so important to have a 4 multiple. Have you said that to your staff? Have you communicated that to them? Do they understand why you have these benchmarks and why you have these statistical metrics they have to hit as a company and as an individual? Or do they think you're just trying to make more money to buy a bigger boat? Remember, in the absence of information, people will often think the worst. So if you're not filling that vacuum with the actual facts, they're going to think less of you. They're not going to trust you and they're not going to respect you. Even in your own personal life, if your spouse says, hey, I'm going to run out and get some milk, bread, and eggs, and I'll be back in 5, 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to the corner store. 3 hours goes by and you can't get with that person by phone. You're not thinking they're sitting down at O'Leary's making, buying rounds of drinks for everybody because they hit the lottery and they just forgot to call you. It's not what you're thinking. You're thinking they ran out of gas, they have a flat tire, or worse. In the absence of information, one always thinks the worst. So remember that, know that, and live with that in your business and in your life, really. Vision. You have to give them vision. You have to show them that you know where you're going and you know the route it takes to get there, like the roadway to being there. That's very important. What's the path, okay? So if you know that path, then you're going to be very successful going down it because everyone else knows the path and everybody's walking the same path. They know where you want to go and what it's supposed to be like and what you're shooting for. And they're rowing along with you in that lifeboat. So if you have an ideal scene, like we wanted to be practice of the year, and I remember we submitted and we didn't get it one year, and then the very next year we got it. So we learned what we needed to do and how we needed to grow and where we came up short, and everybody knew we needed to expand our services in this area. We needed to do, I can't remember some of the things we needed to change. I think we took on more pro bono services. We took on more charitable services on the lower income bracket for the pediatric care we were doing. We provided more benefits for our staff, greater benefits and whatnot. I remember, what else did we do? We had a great mentorship program way back when. This was 2011, where we were professionally enhancing people as a part of their job and paying them for it. We were actually paying people to go to the gym during the day and actually work out. They could work out 2 or 3 hours during the week on us and still get paid. So different things that we were doing just to exchange an abundance with our staff. You may think some of that was crazy, but it really wasn't. People loved working for us because they could take a break and kind of clock out, but not clock out because they were on salary, so they're getting paid anyways, go into the gym and work out and then wash up and come back to work. They really like that. They really like that they were kind of being paid to be fit, and that was on us. So that type of vision, be clear, be transparent, be honest, those first 3, but have vision. Let people know where you're going. Put it this way. We haven't met yet, you're watching this video, but let's pretend we've met. Let's say we're an acquaintance and you know me, but we're not like, BFFs or anything like that. But if I pull up in front of your house, by all means, and I whip open the car door and you're like, hey, Brian, I'm like, hey man, hop in. You're going to be like, where we're going, right? That's going to be the first question you're going to ask. Well, where are we going? Why would you get into a car with somebody if you don't know where the destination is, where you're going? That's how your employees feel. They can't just come to work and just grind out the treatments, write their notes, and go home and exchange time for money. It's going to be a very shallow existence, and your practice is going to be very mediocre. They need to feel like they're a part of a bigger game. They're a part of a bigger achievement. They're a part of something bigger than themselves, right? And you have the responsibility of including them in that. Here's a tool that you can use that would help you in that. Have them participate in your annual business strat planning. Every single person in your company should have a small section or a small say in helping you develop next year's business strategic plan. When you develop next year's business strategic plan, you should break that down into its quarterly objectives. That's showing them how on purpose you are. That's leading with purpose, which is what this third part of this 4-part series is about. If they know your purpose and you can give it to them in bite sizes and you can lead them to executing it to a done, that is good leadership through good vision, good communication, transparency, and honesty. But you have to articulate it. You have to communicate it. You have to show them and communicate with them on a regular basis what's going on from your perspective and what's going on in their world. Let them communicate that, and where we can marry the two so that we can both be benefactors of that. Here's my last tip for this part: 10-minute meetings. I want you to have 10-minute meetings with each and every one of your employees every single month, one-on-one. And I don't care if they come in and they talk about their last vacation, or they come in and they talk about their kittens. It's 10 minutes for them to connect with you on a personal and professional level. Let the conversation go wherever the conversation has to go. These 10-minute meetings are not intended for you as the owner to go in there and give an in-service. It's for you as an owner to go in there and be a listener. How are you doing? How's the job? How's things going in life? How's the new house? How's the new baby? How's the new wife or the new husband or whatever? Whatever's happening in their world. How was your last vacation? How's it going? How's your car? I don't know, but let them talk about whatever it is that's important to them. They have your ear. They have your undivided attention. You're the owner. You have clout. You have some elevation in their mind, whether they say it or not. You're the person who's writing the checks, right? So grant them that time. This is part of the infinite game that I was talking to about. It never ends. You do that forever, for as long as your doors are open. Because why? Because you value these people. And for you, your reasoning for having a business to begin with is that you want to give more in value than you ever receive. You want to actually shower people with purpose. You want them to achieve higher levels in their personal life and professional life. Have them share with you what those are, and then share back with them how you can actually have a positive influence in them achieving that. So that's it for this third part. I hope this was helpful. I kind of got a little tangled up on the list of the key elements there, but I gave you several examples. I think if you just break it down into its parts and you lead by example by being honest and transparent with vision and being a good communicator, you're going to see that people will follow you anywhere at any time into anything because they feel comfortable, they feel stable, they feel like they're on firm ground. The foundation is well known to them. That's your responsibility as a practice owner. It's your responsibility to open up those lines of communication and make sure that that's a two-way street of people being heard, both through validation clinically and acknowledgement personally. Acknowledge your people for who they are as a person and validate them for what they do as a professional. And I guarantee you, you're going to have a company culture that people around you would die for. That's what it's all about. Thank you so much for listening. Please click like and subscribe. I am so grateful that you choose to spend time listening to us on our YouTube channel. I will always try to do my best in giving you both food for thought and actual workable tools and solutions to meet the challenges that you have each and every day.